All right, everybody, what's going on? And welcome to today's edition of SWAC Talk, the show we cover the SWAC inside and out. Of course, I'm your tour guide around the SWAC, see what's coming at you. And it's round ball time, man. So we're going to take a little time and talk about some SWAC basketball. We're going to recap the games from Wednesday and Saturday and preview our feature games for Monday. So we'll just kind of go through the scores of Wednesday and Saturday's games. Don't need to go through all the box scores for so many games. So before we get started, let's go ahead and hit those socials. If you would like, Facebook is Swag Talk, Instagram Swag Talk, Twitter Swag Talk 76. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We're over 800, marching toward 900. So let's go ahead and keep going, man. Let's cross that 900 threshold and then cross that 1K. So we're making our way through that. I'd like to thank y'all if y'all subscribed already. I'd like to thank you. If not, man, please hit that button. I would muchly appreciate it. Hit that like button as well to help us bump up the algorithm. And don't forget to hit that notification bell to be alerted to the videos when I drop them. So let's go ahead and not waste no more time, man. Let's go ahead and talk some SWAC basketball. We're going to start with the women. We'll look at the scores from Wednesday's games. Wednesday, January 4th. Alabama A&M defeated Valley 77-62. Prairie View defeated Southern 55-52. Alabama State defeated Pine Bluff 72-63. And Grambling beat Texas Southern 76-69. Moving on to Saturday's games, Pine Bluff defeated Texas Southern 89-71. Micah Gray from Texas Southern, she scored 41 points in this game. So just wanted to shout that out. That was definitely a good effort in a losing situation, but 41 points for the freshman is definitely a good point total. Alabama A&M defeated Alcorn 63-56. Southern defeated FAMU 55-49. Jackson State defeated Alabama State 90-48. Bethune Cookman beat Grambling 63-46, and Prairie View defeated Valley 92-67. Looking at the games for Monday, January 9th, FAMU is at Grambling, Prairie View is at Arkansas Pine Bluff, Alabama State is at Alcorn, Bethune Cookman is at Southern. That game, Bethune Cookman and Southern, can be seen on HBCU Go at 5:30. Those are the HBCU Go games of the day. Southern and Bethune Cookman men and women can be seen on HBCU Go at 5:30. Valley hosts Texas Southern also at 5:30. All these games tip at 5:30. The Alabama and Jackson State game, which is our feature game of the day, that game can be seen on the JSU Sports Network. Grambling, the game can be seen on their sports website. Pine Bluff and Prairie View can be seen on the Pine Bluff Sports Network, UAPB Sports Network. Valley is hosting Texas Southern on the Valley Sports Network. I think it's only radio for Alcorn, so no streaming as far as I can tell on that one. So let's take a look at our feature game of the day. Alabama A&M, the Lady Bulldogs, come in with a record of 5-8. They're 3-0 in conference, so they've won. So far they've done as well as they could. They picked up a win over Alcorn on Saturday on the road, and they opened up their season at home, beating Pine Bluff and Valley. So they are on a 3-game winning streak. They're 5-8 overall. They're averaging 54 points per game, 54.8. They're allowing 65.2 points per game. They shoot 35% from the field. They make 18.9 field goals per game. The opponents shoot 40% from the field, 23.8 field goals per game. They shoot 28% from the three-point line. They average 4.5 threes per game. The opponents shoot 28% from the three-point line. They average 5.1 threes per game. The Bulldogs shoot 67% from the free throw line. They average 12.4 free throws per game. The opponents average 12.6 free throws per game, and they shoot 69% from the line. The Bulldogs average 36.1 rebounds per game. and they allow 37.8, which is a margin of -1. So they're not really getting out rebounded too badly, but they do get out rebounded in most games. They average 9.4 assists per game. The opponent's 13.6. They average 18.5 turnovers per game, which is a fairly high number. So that's something that's definitely going to have to be cleaned up in a game like a team in a game against a team like Jackson State. You don't want to turn the ball over that much. 15.2 turnovers forced, which is a margin of -3.3. They also have a negative assist to turnover ratio at 0.5. They score an average of 12.9 points per game off of turnovers. The opponents score 18.5. So they turn the ball over a lot, and the opponents score pretty frequently on those turnovers. They don't get as many points off of those turnovers that they force. So they definitely need to improve both of those numbers to have a chance in this game. They average 5.8 steals per game. The opponents average 8.9. They average 2.9 blocks per game, and the opponents average 3.8. Individually, when you look at, I always like to look at the minutes played to see how many people that a team can typically play. They have quite a few people with double-digit minutes per game. They have 9 players with at least 13 minutes a game, so they have a pretty decent rotation. They have a couple other people who had about 8 or 9 minutes per game, so some more bodies that you could throw out there. But they have a pretty solid rotation that they play. Of those people with double-digit minutes, 2 of them haven't played a combined 15 games, so they're missing some time. But their main players have played in every game. So, and they don't have they only have 2 people that start at every game, so they kind of rotate players, whether it's injury or just using a rotation. Looking at the shooting, their leading shooter from the field is Imogen McCallum. She's shooting 46% from the field. Tony Grace also at 46% from the field. Jayla Cody at 39%, Taylor Smith 36%. 3-point shooting, Amaya Simmons is their leading shooter from 3. She's shooting 52%. After that is Taylor Smith at 35 and McCallum at 33. Free throws, Smith is 12 for 12 for 100%, and Amani Free is shooting 84%, 21 of 25. Tony Grace shoots 40 of 51 for 78%. She has the most free throws made and attempted on the team by a good margin. So she gets to the line more than anybody else on the team. Looking at their leading scorer, Grace, she averages 11 points and Free averages 10.2. After that is Simmons at 8.8 and Taylor Smith at 7.9. So pretty balanced scoring, pretty evenly distributed points for this team. Their leading rebounder is Cody at 5.9, Free at 4.9, Simmons 4.4, Elam at 4 rebounds per game. The assist leader is Bergen at 22, followed by Simmons at 19. Leading steals is Free and Smith with 12 each, 10 for McCallum. The leading block is Jada Cody. She has 22 blocks, so that's a factor in the middle. She's 6'1", so she's definitely gonna be somebody that can, if they want to stand a chance in this game, she's gonna have to have an impact on the interior against Jackson State, because Jackson State is a team that can score inside. Then if they can get going and force you to have an uncomfortable night, they're gonna beat you pretty easily. Jackson State comes in this game at 2-0. They beat Alcorn to start the season, and they beat Alabama State last night. They're 5-7 overall. They are averaging 62.3 points per game. The opponent 65.6. That's a margin of -3.3. They're shooting 38% from the field, 21.7 field goals per game, 38.6% for the opponents. They're averaging 23.9 field goals per game. JSU shoots 32% from 3, 4.3 threes per game. The opponents 30%. even, 6.1 threes per game, 70% from the line for Jackson State, 14.8 free throws per game, 64% shooting for the opponents, 11.7 free throws per game. JSU averages 36.9 rebounds per game. The opponent's 36.4, so they have a positive 0.5 margin. Both these teams are pretty even when you look at the rebounded numbers. So that's a very interesting matchup right there. JSU averages 10.8 assists per game. The opponent's 13.3. JSU averages 16.8 turnovers per game and 14.7 forced. Minus 2.1 is the margin on turnovers per game. Assists is 0.6 assist to turnover ratio. They average 6.9 steals per game. They allow 9.4, 4.1 blocks per game, and the opponents average 3.6. So the numbers team-wise obviously favor JSU, plus that 36-game SWAC winning streak is something that's very daunting for teams. So this team knows how to win. They just, they're just a team that knows how to win, and they have a very good rotation from Martino, Bowler, Jackson, Covington, Luckett, Woodard, Crump, Hickman, and White, and you can throw Hunter in there. All those ladies have played pretty much every game on the season, except for Crump. She played 7, but they have a solid rotation that they use, and they don't deviate from that. Looking at their leading shooter right now, White shoots 55% from the field. Woodard shoots 46.4. Hickman 46.2. Bowler 43. Jackson 38. Crump 34. 3-point shooting. Covington is 10 of 23 for 43%. Bowler 12 of 28 for 42%. Martino 23 of 66 for 34%. Martino leads the team in 3-pointers made and 3-pointers attempted. At the free throw line, Bowler 23 of 27 for 85%. Covington 28 of 34 for 82%. Jackson 25 of 31 for 80%. Woodard 12 of 15 for 80%. Martino 18 of 24 for 75%. 18 of 24 for 75% for Luckett, and Martino 21 of 29 for 72%. So all their key players all shoot very well from the free throw line, and that's definitely a mark of a team that can win games. This team doesn't have a lot of big scores. Bowler leads the team at 11.1 points per game, but you have Martino at 9.3, Jackson at 9, Covington at 8.2. So they have 4 people who are almost at 10 points per game, a little bit above. So you can go to any one of these players to get those points for you. So that's definitely a mark of a team that has a lot of weapons. They do what they do very well, and they don't really deviate from that. Rebounding, Jackson at 6.3, Woodard 6.1, Bowler 4.5, White 3.3. Assists, Luckett leads the team with 39, Covington has 34. Steals, Martino with 22 to lead the team, and Jackson leads the team with 21 blocks. So she's 6'6", so that's A&M got has a 6'1" post player, and Angel Jackson is 6'6", so that's definitely an advantage for Jackson State. That should be an interesting battle inside. If A&M can make up for the size differential, they may get themselves a chance, but Jackson State is relentless. They're a team that if they get you down, they're gonna bury you. And I think that JSU will win this game. I would love to see Alabama and them come in here and play a very solid game. This team lost a few players from last season, but they seem to be playing pretty well right now. This is going to be their toughest test so far. Jackson State just needs to continue to stay the course. They don't have to do anything any differently than what they've already done. Don't get outside of what you do, and you should be fine in this game. Obviously, when you have a big winning streak, the pressure is always on to win. So it's if you're trying to maintain that over a course of another 18-game conference season, you had to take those best shots from everybody day in and day out. And Jackson State has proven that they can do that. So I think that they'll win this game. I think they'll win it fairly comfortably. You know, I think A&M can give them a challenge, but I really see Jackson State winning this game. I don't want to say easily, but I think they'll win this game pretty handily. So that's our women's side of things. Let's switch over to the men's side. We'll take a look at the action from Wednesday, January 4th, as we complete the first full weekend of SWAC play, and now we're in the second weekend of SWAC play. And this season has been pretty interesting from start to finish so far in conference play through basically 3 games. You had a lot of close matchups in conference play. Some surprises, some not really, but Alabama and them defeated Valley 75-68. Grambling defeated Texas Southern 85-72. Pine Bluff lost to Alabama State 80-66. Southern defeated Prairie View 66-62. Moving on to Saturday's games, Saturday, January 7th, Pine Bluff defeated Texas Southern 70-66. Texas Southern drops to 0-3. They do have some injuries. That's no excuse, but they do have some guys out. If they can get those guys back in time to kind of get themselves a run late in the regular season and heading in the conference tournament, that would be very beneficial for them. They are in danger of dropping out of the league race if they lose any more games in this early portion of the schedule. You don't want to drop too far out of the top. You don't want to drop out of the top 4. That makes it a lot harder for you to make it to the conference championship. So it's every game is vital for Texas Southern from this point on. But this team has shown that if they're healthy, they can play well. Alcorn defeated Alabama A&M 89-76. Jackson State defeated Alabama State 61-58. And Bethune Cookman dropped a 76-70 decision to Grambling. And FAMU lost to Southern 84-66. Prairie View defeated Valley 67-60. And that leads us to our men's game of the day, which is Bethune Cookman at Southern. The last time these 2 teams faced off in Baton Rouge, Bethune Cookman was very hot shooting, and they gave Southern an upset loss at that time. Now this team this year is 5-10, coming in overall 1-1 in conference. They defeated FAMU in their first game. Didn't play on Wednesday, and then they lost to Grambling on Saturday. In a game that was up and down. They had, I think, at one point late they cut it to 1, but Grambling was able to extend that lead and get the victory. Bethune Cookman is averaging 66.7 points per game. They're giving up 76.1. That's a margin of minus 9.4. They are shooting 41% from the field, 24.5 field goals made per game. The opponents shoot 45%, 26.2 field goals per game. They shoot 35% from the 3-point line. They average 5.5 threes per game. The opponents shoot 36% from 3, 9.1 threes per game. Free throws, Bethune Cookman shoots 72% from the line, 12.1 free throws per game. The opponent 76% from the line, 14.6 free throws per game. Bethune Cookman averages 31.9 rebounds per game. The opponent's 36.2. That's a margin of minus 4.3. They average 11.7 assists per game. The opponent's 15.1. Turnovers, they average 13.1 turnovers per game. The opponent's 13.7. That's a margin of plus 0.6. They have a 0.9 assist to turnover ratio. So they don't really turn the ball over a lot. They don't really force a lot either, but they don't turn the ball over a whole lot. So it's tough to turn them over. And they also don't turn you over too much, so that's kind of a wash. They average 13.9 points over turnovers. The opponent's 14.2. They average 7.9 steals per game. They give up 6.8. They average 2.9 blocks per game, and the opponents average 4 blocks per game. So they do give up a lot of blocks inside, but they've been able to negate that from time to time. Looking at the guys as far as minutes go, they play about 6 6 or 7 guys with at least 21 minutes. So they're not a very deep team. They at most probably go like 9 deep. They're the guys that they start, and maybe they're 6 man, and the guys that are basically the guys that they run with. They have let's see, Garrett at 30.9 minutes per game, Harmon 29.1, French 27.4, Davis 26.9, Robertson 24 even, McIntyre 24 even, and Carter Hollingsworth at 21.3. After that, you have your next guys at 11.5 minutes per game. So those are your guys that basically play the bulk of the game for Bethune Cookman. So if you can get into that rotation, get them deep into that bench, and test their depth, then you have a chance of wearing those guys down. And really, none of, other than those, like I said, to further emphasize the level of depth that they don't really display. Nobody outside of that top, nobody that doesn't average double-digit minutes has played more than 4 games. So they don't, they don't go past that threshold, that 9-guy threshold. They're not very deep. That could be an issue for them moving further throughout the season. Robertson shoots 58% from the field. Carter Hollingsworth 56. Let's see, we got Davis at 40, Garrett at 40, French at 38, McIntyre at 37, Harmon at 36. 3-point shooting, Garrett 14 of 32 at 43%, French 24-67 for 35%, McIntyre is 35%, Harmon 33%, Carter Hollingsworth 33%, Davis 33%. Davis and French are 2 guys that can get extremely hot from 3. So you definitely want to always know where those guys are at all times, because they are capable shooters and they can get very hot. Looking at free throws, Carter Hollingsworth shoots 96%. French is 14 of 14 for 100%. Harmon 34 of 43 for 79%. Garrett 71%. Davis 71%. The leading scorer on the season is Garrett at 13.3. You have Harmon at 12.5. Davis at 10.4. French at 9.2. Robertson 7.8. Carter Hollingsworth at 6.0. So their top 4 guys are basically all within double-digit scoring, so they can score the ball. They have multiple guys that can score, and like I said, they have multiple shooters. So this is a dangerous team offensively. The issue with this team is always going to be depth. I mean, if they have to go more than 9 deep, then they can be in some dangerous waters. Their leading rebounder on the season right now is Robertson at 4.8. Garrett at 4.6, Davis 4.6, McIntyre 4, Carter Hollingsworth 3.5. Looking at their leading assist man, that would be Harmon at 44 and Garrett at 35. Steals, McIntyre has 36 to lead the team by a good margin. Their leading block man is is Robertson with 11. So they don't, like I said, they don't really block a lot of shots, but this team is a very capable team and they're a very dangerous team. If you let them dictate the game, they can cause you a lot of problems. Looking at Southern, Southern's a team who doesn't have a lot of size, but they shoot the ball really well. They can be streaky. They can have they go through fits of sloppiness from time to time, and they will turn the ball over. They will make some inexplicable passes. Sometimes they'll be, sometimes they won't make the right smart play. But this team is more than capable of being a very dangerous opponent. As my computer does not want to cooperate, I'll get you those numbers on Southern as soon as I can get my screen right. Man, it's been a battle with this computer all day. But looking at Southern, like I said, they come into this game at 3-0 in conference play. They are a team who can, like I said, they shot a blistering 70% in the second half against FAMU on Saturday. First half they did not play very well. They it took them like 3 or 4 minutes to score their first bucket, but they kept FAMU from scoring much in that game in the first half. Built up a lead and lost it due to ultimately due to sloppy play, and was able to have a good second half. They blew leads, nearly blew leads in the other two games. So this team is a good. If they get off to a good start, they can build up a good lead. But maintaining that lead throughout a game has been something that they've struggled with all season. Southern is 7-9 overall, 3-0 in conference. They average 73.8 points per game. They give up 74.2. That's a margin of minus 0.4. They shoot 43% from the field, average 26.6 field goals per game. They shoot 44 point. Opponents shoot 44% from the field, and that's 24.6 field goals per game. Southern shoots 35% from three. They average 8.3 threes per game. The opponents shoot 32%. They average 7.4 threes per game. So Southern shoots and makes a lot of threes. They are a team that has multiple guys that can shoot the three ball pretty well. Free throw line, they shoot 69%, 12.3 free throws per game. The opponent 70%, 17.7 free throws per game. That free throw difference is honestly an attest to the size difference between Southern and their opponents. They do, if you get in the inside, you'll be able to have some success either with a bucket or a foul. Southern does foul a bit, especially with a team that's being aggressive on the perimeter. They will commit a lot of fouls there too and put you to the line early in some games. Southern averages 31.8 rebounds per game. They give up 37.4, minus 5.6. Again, that's due to they don't really have a lot of size. They have some tall guys, but they don't have a lot of beef, so to speak. And a lot of their taller guys are more wing guys. But they do have a solid small rotation, small unit that they play. And if that unit gets hot, then they can cause a lot of trouble. Southern averages 15.3 assists per game. They give up 15.5. They average 15.2 turnovers per game. The opponent's 18.5. They give them an assist turnover ratio of 1. They do a very good job of forcing turnovers and getting the ball out in transition off of those turnovers. They average 18.1 points per game off of turnovers. The opponent 16.1. Again, that's a testament to them being able to force those turnovers and get out and run off of them and get buckets. They average 9.1 steals per game. The opponent 6.7. They average 1.9 blocks per game. Again, that's due to them not necessarily having a presence in the middle. The opponents average 4.1 blocks per game. So if you're going to beat Southern, it's really with size and patience. You have to take care of the ball and run your offense. You run your offense, you get yourself some good shots, and use size if you have it. That gives you the chance to have success against Southern. If you try to go shot for shot or run for run against Southern, you probably lose. Southern is a team that play a lot of guys, man. They run through pretty much everybody on their team outside of a couple guys who haven't played a lot of games, log at least 9 minutes. So they go pretty deep. I mean, sometimes they go 10, 11 deep. They play almost everybody that dresses. So they will throw bodies at you. And most of those guys are capable of scoring. So this team is a dangerous team. They're a pretty deep team. Bird and Williams average over 30 minutes. Bird averages 38. So he's a guy who I don't know why they got this broken up like this. But Bird averages 27. They have him listed twice for some reason. Bird averages 27 minutes per game. Etienne at 25.3. Whitley 24.8. Lyons 23.2. Williams 22.9. So those are the main 5 guys that they have. They will rotate those guys. Sometimes one of them may come off the bench. They don't necessarily have the same starting lineup every week, but those guys will play a lot. Wilkins leads the team shooting 54%. Jerron Wilkins. Jalen Reynolds is at 52%. Festus Dumaya is at 51%. Bird at 51%. Williams at 47%. 3-point shooting. Etienne shoots 41%. Lyons 40%. Bird 39%. Williams 37%. Allen 34%. Whitley 33%. Rollins at 27. Whitley and Etienne both have 32 threes made. Whitley has taken 95. Etienne takes 78. Whitley is more of the streaky type of guy. He's the type of guy if he makes a couple, he's gonna knock down a bunch. But sometimes he goes cold. But he will. He's not scared to shoot. Etienne's a very solid scorer. Obviously, he's a guy that knows how to win playing at Texas Southern before he came to Southern. So he does well in this offense. Free throws, Bird leads the team at 81%, Whitley at 80%, Allen at 80%, Jerian Wilkins at 76%, Jerron Wilkins at 72%. The leading scorer on the season is Etienne at 11.5. You have Whitley at 10.9, Lyons at 10, Bird at 8.4, 8.6, Williams at 7.3, Reynolds at 6.4. So again, a team, they have 3 double-digit scores with another couple guys who are close to that. Any one of these guys can be your main guy, but typically those top 3 guys are the guys that are gonna score the points for Southern at a high level. Any one of those 3 guys can easily take over a game. And like yesterday against FAMU, it was Lyons who got hot. He also got hot late against Texas Southern. So these guys can all be capable of scoring. Like I said, the thing for Southern is not having those laws that they go through sometimes. Williams leads the team with 4.1 rebounds per game. Lyons 3.5. Etienne 3.3. Reynolds 3.2. Whitley 2.9. Assists is Bird at 87. Etienne at 32. Steals, Etienne leads the team with 23. Whitley with 19. And blocks, Southern doesn't have a double-digit guy with blocks, and that's due to that lack of size that this team does not have. This game is a very interesting game, man. I think that either one of these teams can win this game. I think Southern tends to play pretty well at home. Although they still can have those slow starts or sometimes those slow spots in the middle of a game where they lead or shrink. I think Bethune Cookman shooters are going to keep them in this game. It's important for Southern to play really solid defense, especially on the perimeter, to limit those guys from making those shots. For Southern, you want to get Bethune Cookman deep into their bench. Foul trouble doesn't necessarily hurt Southern as much unless it's one of their top 3 guys. If one of those get in foul trouble, then you have to reach a little bit deeper. But playing a team with a lot of guys tends to have you not really have foul trouble. So that's going to be an issue in SWAC play with any game is foul trouble. If Bethune Cookman gets in any major foul trouble, this can be a tough night for them. But I think Bethune Cookman is going to come in here and really fight. But I think Southern's going to find a way to win a close one. This would be a game that comes down to the last couple of minutes, but I think Southern will pull this one out. Bethune Cookman will be a team that I expect to see in the SWAC tournament this year. They barely missed out last season. I think this year they're gonna make it and make it pretty easily into the tournament. So this is the first of 2 matchups for these teams, and maybe they'll have a third in the tournament. So we'll see. But I'm gonna go with Southern in this one for the victory. That'll do it for today's show. So y'all make sure y'all catch us in about a week or so, man. I'm for the 3rd time I'm attempting to go on vacation. It seems that all systems are go. I really shouldn't speak on it because every time I do, it doesn't come true. But we're gonna see. So we just play it by ear. So the next time you see me is the next time you see me, and I'll catch y'all on the rebound. Peace.